as the Pope said, I am so excited because he is now going to speak in a diplomatic way where he's going to say this part of the country is French, this part of the country is English, and he's going to speak in English in the southern Cameroon. We know that. We are very confident. He's going to tell them, you cannot distort history. And he's going to do that, and the people of Southern Cameroonians will be elated. We have spoken. All the Southern Cameroonians, the fighters on the ground have also said, we welcome the leader of the Catholic Church. That is the biggest president in the world. He leads a population bigger than any other, even America or China or any other part of the world. So he is landing in Amazonia with a message of peace. And Southern Cameroonians are very excited about what they have heard so far in Yaoundé. And we know what he will be saying in Bamenda is going to just be an addition to what he has said in Yaoundé. Before I end here, Comrade Chris, let me just read a simple quote that I got from his speech in Yaoundé. And this quote says, my thoughts turn in a special way to those who suffer in the Northwest and Southwest region. The thirst for justice and the desire for peace that rise from this land must find a concrete and rapid response through dialogue. That is a message that the Pope has given those guys in Yaoundé. If and only if
Take
they are
that
going to
again,
listen.
please. I have not learned of that. I've not heard of that. Read that again.
Yes, the quote says, my thoughts turn in a special way to those who suffer in the Northwest and Southwest region. The thirst for justice and the desire for peace that rise from this land must find a concrete and rapid response through dialogue. So that
Wonderful.
is something that came out of his speech today. And every Southern Cameroonian should be elated that the Pope is speaking to this authority that is blind and deaf and do not understand that the people, you as a government is supposed to listen to the people, not the people listening to the government.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me get to George. And when you hear the way they speak, the Pope has spoken in Yaoundé. Give me your idea on how you think Yaoundé is going to respond to the Pope.
Of course, you could see the responses on their faces while the Pope was reading. I watched it very closely, and um, their faces were all down, in shame because they were shocked. They were shocked that the Pope frankly hit the bull by the horn. And continue for what my brother said. Thank you for that quotation, which was very insightful. Continuing from where you ended, he said that today, like many other nations, your country is facing complex difficulties. The Pope was frank. He told everybody there, this Cameroon is facing complex difficulties. The tension and violence that have afflicted certain regions of the Northwest, Southwest, and the Far North have caused profound suffering. Lives have been lost, families displaced, children deprived of schooling, and young people no longer see a future. Behind the numbers are the faces, stories, and shattered hopes of real people. In the face of such dramatic situations, I call on the human family at the beginning of this year to reject the logic of violence and war and embrace a peace founded on love and justice. That is what the English-speaking Cameroonians have been advocating for, right? For justice.
Right.
So he hit the nail. I'm telling you, it was so tough that I looked at the hall and their faces were bowed down.
Dan is the only person that have quick access to that.
What did you say?
Just give me a second. I'll see if I can look into metrics. All right.
Okay. So again, this is only the beginning of the trip so far. He still has to spend a full day and more in Bamenda, and then he will go and hold a mass in the Douala. Do you see much more fireworks showing up in Bamenda?
I see a lot of fireworks showing up, Mr. Chris, because this is just the beginning. It's just the tips of the iceberg. I want you to remember that Pope Leo took his name from Pope Leo the 13th.
Correct.
This was the Pope that inaugurated what we call social justice. You know, the social justice of the church. In his famous encyclical Rerum Novarum. So this Pope is following the footsteps of Pope Leo the 13th. This was a Pope who advocated for social justice. So in Bamenda is going to be an explosion, Mr. Chris. I can foresee it already. Because in English, speaking in English, it's going to be an explosion. And then in Douala with Archbishop Cleda, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that some women have submitted a memorandum to Archbishop Cleda.
What is the memorandum about?
The memorandum criticizes the government for having arrested their husbands. All those who are in prison, Mr. Kemeni, you know, Mr. Kemeni is still in Kondegi till today. So the wife and other wives of these prisoners who did nothing, they wrote a memorandum which they gave to Archbishop Cleda. And you know Archbishop Cleda is going to hand that to the Holy Father.
Oh, he definitely will.
So it's going to be an explosion in Bamenda and in Douala.
My question, though, is going to Bamenda, we don't know who is speaking for who in Bamenda. Any idea?
That is the problem we have, Mr. Chris. You know, I don't think some people have accused me of being a critic of Archbishop Andrew Nkia. You know, I like to say things plainly. He's the Archbishop of Bamenda. There's going to be a meeting in Bamenda. We don't know who is going to be in the meeting. Can you imagine that? He was supposed to let people know. Transparency. We're supposed to know those who are going to be in that meeting with the Pope. But nobody knows till today, until tomorrow when we're going to see. Is it going to be CPDM people, or is it going to be English-speaking Cambodians who have suffered for 10 years? And why is the Pope only going to the cathedral? Why not to the hospital? Why not to the orphanages to meet these people who have suffered for 10 years?
You have to consider the time frame too.
No, Mr. Chris, what are you talking about? Look at Douala today. He went to the hospital. He went to meet with the orphans. And in Douala, he's going to go to the hospital. Why is he not doing those things in Bamenda? Why only the cathedral? Is the Archbishop trying to show the cathedral he has refurbished? You know, these are questions we're asking.
For me, where he goes in Bamenda is not a big deal for as long as he gets the message. I would think my only beef is for him to have had time to visit an orphanage in Yaoundé. I think he would have asked for time to visit the prisoners in Yaoundé. That is where I pick a hole as far as Yaoundé is concerned. I think if you would visit an orphanage, you should be able to visit the prisoners. At least some of them. The political prisoners of conscience, not the criminals. Prisoners of conscience.
And I included that in my open letter. You are right, Mr. Chris.
Comrade Ijacha, if I'm wrong, should if he can visit an orphanage and other foundations in Yaoundé, why should he not be visiting the prisoners?
I mean, Secretary Chris, I am not too much in theatrics. I am more on practical things to be done. And the Pope is doing some great things here that we cannot discount that.
On the loop.
With the accessories, visiting even the orphanage, visiting the prisoners, I would very much advocate for that. But there is something bigger than just visiting these people. What is more important is to talk to the entire nation of Cameroon. And that audience of one is the Pope aptly addressing the audience of one. I see that he's doing it because in that audience of one, you have Cameroonians of all shades and walk and, you know, of all levels, social status. So in the Pope's speech to or his address to the powers that be, he has touched everything. He has touched things that, if taken into consideration, would alleviate the prisoners. He has touched things that, if taken into consideration, will break the chains of the prisoners. So now my concern would have been if the I would have had some concerns if the Pope did not address the issue of injustice, because those prisoners, let's make it clear, they are there because of the injustice, and the Pope up front rightfully address the issue of injustice. So if we have to right the wrongs of the regime, those people will not be in prison. So the Pope has the prisoners in mind. Now, that said, there is also something very important that we seem to gloss over: the fact that the Pope made it clear that there is war in Cameroon. Nobody, I mean, the government has, in many instances, tried to underlook what's happening to Southern Cameroonians and does not even want it to be characterized as war. The war that it is, the war that was declared by Paul Biya on the tarmac of the Simalet airport. The Pope made it clear that that peace is not the absence of war. So when you're talking about peace, there's no peace in Cameroon because actually there is war. And he said something very important that I want to bring out. He says that it is not that we should not allow peace to be according to the whims of the rich and the powerful. Get this very well. He used the expression the whims of the rich and the powerful. Who are the rich in Cameroon? Who are the powerful? We know that the war that is in Cameroon is a war that should not have been, because the issues that were being raised by the Southern Cameroonians were legitimate issues that was raised in a peaceful way, in respect of the Constitution of Cameroon, that should guarantee that people should protest. So, but what happened? We are at war in Cameroon because of the whims of the rich and the powerful. That's a clear indictment of the regime in Yaoundé. What a wonderful thing. So please, let's avoid to corrode this great momentum that the Pope has given. I mean, I know, yes, Oliver Twist would say, give me more. But let's not get to that point because he is still giving. He hasn't given all. Now, in anticipation of what's going to happen in Bamenda, there is one thing that I know. The Pope would speak to Southern Cameroonians as no other foreigner has spoken to. I'm very confident about that because if the Pope could speak to Paul Biya and his henchmen in French, and I even applaud the fact that the Pope in Yaoundé spoke in French for one reason. In communication, you look at your audience. So who was the audience in Yaoundé? That's very critical. We want the Pope to speak in a language that Paul will not understand, and then it's going to create some filter. Whoever translated to Paul Biya may translate what they understand from what the Pope is saying. So why not the Pope speak directly to Paul Biya in a language that Paul Biya would understand? I mean, if the Pope could have even spoken in Bulu to Paul Biya, I would have loved to see him speak in Bulu, so that I know without an iota of a doubt that Paul Biya got the message. First of all, I don't doubt that Biya does not know what's going on, but at the level of communication, to remove all the filters and all the semantics that could come with the translator, the Pope did a marvelous job of choosing the language of French to address the perpetrators of the perpetrators of the abysmal violation of the rights of our people. The Pope did that. In Bamenda, I expect him to speak to Southern Cameroonians in English and to bring them the encouragement that they need to continue with this struggle. Now, I don't expect the Pope to come and fight for us. Let's not expect that, because many people that will be accusing the Pope will be going on the pretext that the Pope will fight for us. Nobody will ever fight for us. But in our struggle, we are looking for allies. We are looking for people that can ally with us. So we are leading the charge. We are leading the struggles. We are not allied. We are not. We should not take the position of allies and want people to fight for us. No, we should be at the front and center of this struggle, and then support those that give their voices to our struggle.
No, I think you are perfectly on point there. I think the climax of this visit is going to end in Bamenda with what he says in Bamenda, and I think he has started it on a good footing. The message is straightforward, looking them on their faces and telling them you are corrupt. Listen to your citizens. Justice is what the people need. These are the
Need.
messages we have been sending out. People writing open letters, people sending letters to the Vatican. This has been the message. My worry is whether the regime will take this with a pinch of salt. Patrick.
Uh, Secretary Chris, one thing that is very clear, we know the regime that we are dealing with. They are sitting there today, they will be strategizing on how they will respond to the Pope. And one thing that I would tell you, I think you said this in one of your shows, they are going to use the appointment of a new government, the appointment of the vice president or whatever they are going to be doing in the days ahead, just to overshadow what the Pope is telling them to do. They have those strategic thinking, but they don't have any problem solving skills. But what is very clear right now is there is fire on the mountain for La Republique with the message that the Pope is going to give the Southern Cameroonians. We know the Pope is going to spit fire in Bamenda. We talked about the visit to visit the prisoners of conscience. It's really a good idea, but I don't see that to be anything very significant at this point. Just because we know there are Southern Cameroonians who are refugees. There are Southern Cameroonians who are in so many different prisons in that country. We know the leaders are in Yaoundé, but the Pope will make a generalized message, not to focus on a specific area, like visiting the prison, like he is taking sides or he's trying to uh, push for anything in that regard. But at the end of the day, he is telling La Republique, you have the most corrupt territory, you are unjust, and the people want to see peace in that country and justice for the people of Southern Cameroon. So what we are seeing today is just the beginning of what La Republique is in for the next 3 days, because we know they are strategizing for the wrong reason. But the Pope doesn't speak by himself. The Pope is the leader of a more structure. They they don't have the power, they don't have the ability to compare with the Pope of what the Pope can do as a leader of the Vatican. And what we know is there is fire on the mountain, and La Republique is going to be bracing for impact.
And comrade, please, if I can just add on what my brother just said,
Yes, please.
it's important that we understand that we need two things from the Pope going down to the Northwest. He needs to emphasize on the marginalization of Southern Cameroonians. If we can have the Pope speak directly to that marginalization, which he has started, because raising the issue of injustice is already eating into that marginalization. And secondly, he has to speak to the identity of Southern Cameroonians. Because one of the biggest things that we are facing in Cameroon is the identity crisis, where we just think that there was no Southern Cameroon identity, that it was everything was just squashed in 1972 with that fake referendum. But if we can recenter the debate, if the Pope can open a vista into that identity, then we can, not that we can reappropriate it because we already have it, but we can burn out, because the biggest issue is that issue of identity. They have identified us, marginalized us based on that identity.
If I may ask, and I will start with George. George, you have been a critic again of the church, and the Pope mentioned justice, mentioned security, mentioned corruption. What he did not mention was or suggest was the possibility of the Vatican weighing in on the conflict in the southern Cameroons and mediating between the two parties. That did not show up. I did not hear that. Maybe once in Bamenda we may hear that. We don't know yet. But
Now, I
before
think,
before Pope Francis passed, the Vatican was trying to come in to mediate between Cameroon and Ambazonia. That was after the Canadian initiative
right,
was dismissed, died. The
yes.
Vatican was trying to come in. We actually had some meetings with some of the clergy from Cameroon. They actually flew out here to meet with us in anticipation of the Vatican coming in to mediate. We have not heard the Pope say that so far. Do you think you may suggest that in the course of this trip?
Well, from what the Pope mentioned today in his speech, I think he said something related to that. This is what he said. 1600 years ago, St. Augustine wrote words that have great relevance today. Those who rule serve those whom they seem to command, for they rule not from a love of power, but from a sense of the duty they owe to others, not because they are proud of authority, but because they love mercy. From this perspective, serving one's country means dedicating oneself with a clear mind and an upright conscience to the common good of all people in the nation. This includes dedication to both the majority of the population and the minorities. You know, we are minorities, aren't we? We are just two regions of 8 regions in Cameroon.
Right.
So this speech, especially this paragraph, to me, it's extremely powerful. The Pope is just alerting what he's going to say in Bamenda. That is not because we are minorities that we should be discarded, that we should not be listened to. And talking about your question, I think that is something is going to happen in Bamenda. We don't know what the Vatican has planned at the back. You remember in Douala when the Archbishop Clare was celebrating his 25th anniversary as a bishop. Cardinal Toxin from the Vatican, who was in charge of the Commission for Justice and Peace, celebrated that mass. And at the end, before the final blessings, he said that he's suggesting the Cameroon government that the greatest gift they can give to the Pope is to solve this crisis, is to end this crisis. So I believe something is going on at the back that we're going to discover tomorrow. The Vatican has surely done something. There's surely some negotiation that has been going on that we don't know.
I would agree with you, because when we look, why did the Pope choose Bamenda? He could have gone to Biya. Now there is Justin Care who is leading that charge in terms of dialogue, and he has been upfront. We saw him at the major national dialogue. We've seen him at all opportunity trying to get.
Who is that?
Justice, Archbishop Care. I'm sorry, okay. I probably said Justice Care. Yeah. Archbishop Care. So I'm sorry. So we've seen him at the center front on trying to dialogue. And the one thing that I know about Archbishop Care, because I met him in Paris on my way to Cameroon in 2019, and he's somebody that acknowledges the fact that there is a part of Southern Cameroon that has that grievance and truly believe that they should be stand as Ambazonians, and that cannot be excluded from the solution. So now the Pope going to an ecclesiastic province of someone like Archbishop Kea, with all that we know, it's now the onus is on Archbishop Kea to get the Pope fully. So if this does not work, Archbishop Kea would surely have some questions to answer. So is the Pope going to sacrifice his Archbishop? That's the question that we'll ask now. So basically, I believe that the Pope will weigh in to bring dialogue. And when we're talking about dialogue at this point, it should be between the government and the separatists identified as Ambazonians also. They must be on that table. I'm a federalist. I'm not an Amazonian in real terms. But there is an undeniable factor in Southern Cameroon that's known as Ambazonia. If those and not on the table as equal partner in that dialogue, we will not move forward. That's the way I believe in this thing.
Well, that is, I mean, I don't know if somebody can be talking about dialogue between francophones, right? There isn't dialogue. The only what francophones need to do is take care of their political issues, their election issues, their electoral code, and so on. But when you talk about dialogue or negotiation, you're talking about two parties, Amazonians, the Southern Cameroons, and La République du Cameroon. Anything short from this, it's not dialogue. And you go and call a second grand national dialogue where you bring every elite, or you feed a place with CPDM elite. That is not dialogue.
That's exactly the problem. We don't know the meeting of tomorrow. We don't know those who have been invited. You know, Archbishop Care is the one who organized it. So tomorrow we're going to know who are those in that cathedral and who are they representing.
Patrick.
Yes, Comrade Chris. One thing that we are not even going, we are not saying so far is the fact that before the Pope came to, the Pope got there, whatever has been planned was already put in place. He
Yeah.
is just coming to solidify exactly what the plan is between the Catholic Church and the government of Cameroon and regarding the Amazonian cause. You can see, even though you had questioned why he didn't say anything about dialogue or and being at the center of the mediation. In most cases, he's not going to directly say that, but he will say things that everybody will understand that they are open. They have their doors open to help the government of Cameroon. They are not even going to say to help mediate. They might say to help the government of Cameroon resolve some of their problems. So what we are going to hear in Bamenda is going to be totally different from what we heard today. And we know the Pope, when he came to power, he mentioned it over and over. Just last year, when he came to power, about peace, about peace. He reminded his Catholic followers about the need for peace. And you have seen what is going on between him and the U.S. government. He's not happy with what is going on in Iran, but he was talking about making sure there's no war. People are not being killed. They're all children of the Holy Ghost, the Holy God. So the Pope is going to make sure we understand exactly what is going on in La Republique and Amazonia. And he's going to make some really drastic pronouncement that will give hope to where the direction of this Amazonian struggle is going. And one thing I'm going to say is when the people who call themselves the leaders of the Amazonian struggle should be thinking very critically, because when the Pope leaves, whatever is going to happen, if the Amazonians are not in a united front, fully engaged to make sure that they have something they can put on the table when it comes to even talking to some diplomats. It might not even be from the Vatican. Some diplomats will be contacting Amazonians from other countries that are being part of the peace initiative. And people should be very careful what they say and what they do. So the Amazonian people should be ready and setting their goal for what they are going to achieve. So the Pope is going to do some really marvelous thing in Amazonia, and we know there is change in that country, and history is about to unfold in the eyes of every Southern Cameroonian and even the people of La Republique.
George, if I may come back to you, I think you
Yes.
were enumerating you mentioned his agenda for the rest of the days. When is
Yes.
he in Douala? Is he in Douala Friday, Saturday, or Sunday?
He's in Douala. So after Bamenda, he's going to fly back to Yaoundé and go to Douala the next day. And in
He is,
Douala, he's going to visit the hospital and he's going to celebrate Mass.
and he is
And then he's going to
celebrating.
come back. Huh?
He is celebrating the public mass in Bamenda at the airport on Saturday, correct?
No, it's tomorrow.
Mm, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow, Friday.
I
No,
thought he
Thursday.
is celebrating a mass
Tomorrow is
at the
Thursday.
cathedral tomorrow and having meetings, and then Saturday, and then tomorrow is when? Thursday?
Oh, it's Thursday. Yes, today is Wednesday. Sorry, the time difference. Yes,
So he is celebrating a mass at the cathedral tomorrow, correct?
So
tomorrow in Bamenda.
Secretary, the
Yes, and then
itinerary that some of
Friday.
us,
Yes,
so
I have
the
the itinerary
itinerary
right in
says
front of
that,
me.
Read it, please.
okay,
So, tomorrow at 10:05, he's going to depart from Yaoundé to Bamenda. He's going to arrive Bamenda at 11 a.m. At 11:30, he's going to meet for the peace meeting with the community in Bamenda, in the Bamenda Cathedral.
Yeah.
At 3:15 p.m., he's going to go to the airport in Bafut and celebrate Mass.
Oh, same
And
tomorrow?
at 5, yes, tomorrow,
yes.
tomorrow Thursday.
Okay.
And then at 7:25, he's going to go back. He's going to depart for Yaoundé.
He's leaving Bamenda tomorrow?
Yes, he's just spending a day. And he's not sleeping in Bamenda. He's
I thought he
sleeping,
was
he's
sleeping
spending
in
all the nights in
Bamenda
Yaoundé.
I thought you were spending 2 days in Bamenda.
No, just a
No,
day.
it's
Thursday,
one
he'll
day.
be in Bamenda. He leaves Bamenda at 6:20 p.m. back to Yaoundé.
Okay.
On Friday, he departs Yaoundé for Douala at 9 a.m. He arrives Douala at 9:55. At 11 a.m., he has mass at the Japoma Stadium. At 1:20 p.m., he's going to visit the private St. Paul Hospital, the Catholic Hospital, St. Paul. And he's going to depart Douala back to Yaoundé at 2:10 p.m.
Okay.
At 3:15, he's going to arrive the airport in Yaoundé. And at 5:30, he's going to meet with the university at the Catholic University of Central Africa, UCAC. That is Friday for you. On Saturday, he's going to depart Yaoundé back to Rome.
No, he
No,
is supposed to be going to
he's
Equatorial
going to
Guinea.
Rwanda.
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. He's going to Equatorial Guinea, our neighboring country. That's right. I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So 3 days in Cameroon, 3 days.
Okay. I'm surprised
I mean,
it's only one
and
day
you
in
see,
Bamenda, but whatever the case, gentlemen, I would like all of you to join me back here tomorrow for the coverage of that event in Bamenda. What we're going to do tomorrow is we will broadcast the event in Bamenda live from the moment he sets foot in Bamenda, Albert Mukom's airport in Bamenda. The moment he sets foot there, we will start covering it live. And then when
Yes.
they are holding their other meetings later in the day around this same time, I will bring back the panel and we'll see if we can also have a conversation on what we see in the Bamenda. Can we do that?
Of course,
Sure.
I'll be happy
Indicate if you
to.
can.
course.
Indicate if you are available tomorrow.
yeah, sure. If
8
it's
p.m.
around this
Amba
time,
time.
I can do that.
Mr. Chris,
Yes, sir.
there is a statement you made which I want to clarify, please, before you close.
Okay.
You said I am against the Catholic Church.
No. I didn't say you. Come on. To be a critic doesn't mean you are against. You are a critic of the Catholic Church. Because I have read tons of your articles. Often they are very much critical of Andrew Gay and other
I'm a critic of the
bishops.
bishops.
Yes.
Do you know why?
No.
Because Mr. Chris, we grew up knowing people like Archbishop Paul Vetzekov. These were
Yes.
bishops you could not, they spoke the truth in season and out of season. And now we have bishops who just mingle with the government and politics. And that really disturbs me. Because that is not what we knew of bishops. Bishops in the days of Paul Vetzekov would not have had this war again. This war would have ended.
I mean, I'm not going to be an advocate or a defender of Archbishop Nkea, but in all fairness, this man is one of those clergy in Cameroon who speaks through to authority. The situation in Cameroon is so complex with a totalitarian regime that has no inclination to listen to the voices of wisdom. Because if the regime in Cameroon was inclined to listen to the voices of wisdom, we will not be where we are today. That's the problem. We are living in different times, different challenges. We are living in a situation with a regime that has waged a war against its own people. We saw Archbishop Nkea in Bamenda blending with the people. This man's, I mean, he has his challenges that we may have. But there's one thing that is clear about him that I know is that he understands the Anglophone problem to the level at which we should expect him to understand. Archbishop Nkea will not come out as Comrade Chris, who is a leader within the Ambazonian community. That's a way he's going to do that. But as a clergy, Archbishop Nkea is trying to create platforms. He's trying to bring the protagonists together. He's not the one bringing the solution. He's trying to get people talk. That's all what we expect.
But
Has he visited the prisoners in Kondenge?
Hold on, George. How would Kennedy compare that, what you are describing in the Archbishop Nkea, to the advocacy of Cardinal Toomey and Paul Vezekov, as George puts it?
Good.
But Archbishop Nkea worked together with Cardinal Toomey in 2019. I was a witness of that. They were hand in glove. They were together. They were on that same common initiative. They even wanted to convene an all Anglophone conference. The government was against that.
One of the things that we have to understand is Archbishop Nkea is playing a very delicate role in Cameroon today. He is
Thank you.
a clergy. He is a clergy, but he has been faced by this struggle, and he has to play a pivotal role to see that a solution comes up. Whatever we're seeing in Cameroon with the Pope today, I would say 90% is because of Archbishop Nkea. He is the
Thank
one
you.
working behind the scene to create the magic that people are seeing. And when you listen to somebody talk, Archbishop Nkea has the ear of the Pope. He has spoken to the Pope directly. The Pope understands what is going on the ground. He knows everything. My brother here said these women have sent a letter to the Pope. I'll tell you that the Pope before the Pope left his seat in Rome, he already has a clear picture of what he is getting himself into. He knows the in and out, even the history of the southern Cameroon. He has all those things in his hand before going there. And Archbishop Nkea has done so well with most of what we are seeing today. But he would never come up and say, I want Ambazonia to go this way, or I want La Republic to do that. But he is being very diplomatic in his language and everything that he is trying to do in that country. And behold, Archbishop Nkea, I'm sure he's from the Biya area. Don't think that anybody from, even those who are in the military, do not support the Amazonian
Archbishop
cause.
Nkea is actually
I think it's
from the
Mafia.
Biya.
Oh,
He's from the
he's
BLM.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
wherever he's from, that is a full-fledged born and bred Ambazonian. Even the prime minister.
He was born in Widdicombe. He was born in Widdicombe.
Hello. So the prime minister.
He has all of that mixture.
Today, he will vote for Ambazonia to separate. Let's forget about anything that everybody is talking about today.
Let me add something. Secretary Chris, please let me add something. Because, when we speak about Archbishop Nkea, we try to see what he's done. That's somebody that left Cameroon, came to Washington, or at least came to the US, from what I know, had meetings with staunch Ambazonian leaders, trying to bring them into an arena of communication with the government. But who stonewalled this? It's not the Ambazonian leadership, from my understanding, because the Ambazonian leadership, they were ready to say they will meet Biya at any time, anywhere. But that meeting has not occurred because the Biya regime does not want to meet with the Ambazonian leaders. So now, in the context of Archbishop Kaya trying to facilitate that kind of a meeting, then you understand that yes, he's somebody that knows what he's doing. Because somebody else would have said, I'm not going to meet those Ambazonians. Who are they? Why should I fly to Washington to meet Ambazonians? But that was not the question at the front of his mind. So that's why I say I give him credit.
One of the prisoners, our prisoners were in Kondengui. Has he visited them?
Again, when it comes to the prisoners, we cannot narrow down this struggle to one epiphenomenon. It's one thing, yes, I would have loved for Archbishop Kea to go there. But the central question I always ask is he speaking to the demise of the prisoners? Is he fighting that the shackles of the prisoners be broken? Right from here in the United States, every day we speak and we fight for those shackles to be broken. So let's go way beyond theatrics and get into the substance.
Comrade, one thing that we have to understand, Archbishop Kia, the role that he's playing today, if Archbishop Kia cut that bridge or create that bridge where he is communicating or visiting the prisoners to a certain extent, that might even shut him off from communicating with the government, trying to bring any kind of understanding between the Ambazonia and the government, because they would think the reason he's going to the prisoners is because of this. They are not even going to look at it like he is just being a man of God trying to find ways to bring people together. The government
No,
of
he had to
Cameroon,
educate them.
yeah, we know how complex this government is. These guys, the only thing they know in their brain is how do we survive tomorrow? They don't have any other understanding that somebody can come to them and give them solutions to problems that can be solved for the country. That is all they need. The only thing is how do we survive tomorrow? That's all the government of Cameroon today.
Well,
Tomorrow shall tell, Mr. Chris. Tomorrow will be a powerful day. Let's wait for tomorrow.
well, I am very optimistic about tomorrow, considering what we already saw in Yaoundé today. As far as Bishop Nke is concerned, I must say, as Patrick and Kennedy have said, he is at a very difficult position because he is the highest spiritual authority in that country at the moment after Cardinal Toomey, and he must be seen to be pandering to both sides just in case he is capable or able of, looking for a solution. That is the way I look at it. We have spoken several times. I cannot say here what we have discussed, but I will leave it for the Pope to come and go, and then we can draw our conclusions. Gentlemen, hang in there. We're going to open the phone lines briefly. We'll open the phone lines briefly. If you are watching and you like to contribute to this conversation, please go ahead, call the number that will be put on the screen. The phone number that we are putting on the screen, that is the phone number. Go ahead and call right now. Let us know what is on your mind about the Pope's visit to Ambazonia tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. And again, while we wait for your phone calls, I'd like you to know we're going to be bringing you the visit to Bamenda live tomorrow from the beginning to the end for as long as we can get the feed coming in uninterrupted. We will be streaming it live probably in the US from probably from 11 a.m. Europe, I don't know what time that will be, but let me get to this caller here. Hello.
Hello, Comrade Chris.
Okay, this is Dr. Atienjo. Good to hear your voice, sir. What is on your mind?
Oh, thank you, Comrade Chris. It's quite a very, very insightful program today. I greet all the members, the panelists. They are all doing great. I just want to add my voice to what comrades have said there about the visit of the Pope and the involvement of Archbishop Biya. I have met with him personally, and I interacted with him personally, and I see him, he is an Ambazonian. And one thing that we forget to understand is the fact that he is a pastor. He is there as a shepherd for many, many Ambazonians, and especially in his own diocese, where he is actually commanding people and leading the sheep. So he's been doing a great job. I wish to support what Pastor Kennedy said and Comrade Patrick. They said something that is very clear. He is working in the background, and the Pope's visit to Cameroon, I would say that he is the main player, the elephant in the bush, doing the great the work. So we expect something to happen. We should be optimistic about this visit because the Pope has made a speech, and they describe it as a poignant speech, which is a speech that has appealed to the consciences of Cameroonians and the leadership in Cameroon. I believe that he is going to use very, very powerful words tomorrow, which are going to speak to the minds of Ambazonians, speak to the minds of the leadership of Cameroon, and after he returns to Rome or to the Holy See, I believe that something is going to come out, except Cameroon is still going to act the same way that they have been acting, but I believe that the Pope is going to make a statement, and which is going to be followed up. And I don't also think that the Pope is going to leave it at that, or his departure is going to end things. No, he is going to follow up. He is going to follow up because his visit is very pivotal to the struggle of Southern Cameroonians. And we believe that something has to happen. And we just be optimistic and see how we can do it. Let us continue to fight for our people, for the liberation of our people. We need to continue to fight. Thank you, and I appreciate all you've said. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. You have a great day out there. Okay. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we will be streaming or broadcasting the visit to Bamenda live starting around 11 a.m. Washington time. So stay tuned. And then after that, the moment we can no longer carry the feed from Bamenda, that is probably when the Pope would have been heading back to Yaoundé, we will bring back the panel. Let me take a caller from Ground Zero and know how they're feeling out there. Hello. Hello. Hello.
I'm calling. Hello.
Yes, where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Douala.
Okay.
Covering the event of the Holy Father.
Okay. What is on your mind?
Freelance journalist.
Oh, you are a freelance journalist.
Yes.
Okay, tell us the atmosphere there on the ground. I know you were not in Yaoundé, but at least Douala is proximity is very close, and you can feel the temperature out there. Give us a good feel of what is happening down there, especially with what the Pope said today.
Great. Yeah. I think what is going on in Yaoundé right now is that change has come to Cameroon. Change has come to Cameroon. It is difficult at this point for us to fully understand the big picture. But the Holy Father turned down the invitation to go to the United States, but he accepted that to come to Cameroon. It shows that in the minds of our leaders, as terrible as they are, especially concerning the Ambazonian crisis, they are willing to change. That is my conviction. And I follow people like George all the time on social media, and even yourself, Comrade Chris. I am very confident that let us be hopeful that a meaningful change will come from this visit.
Okay. Uh, what did Biya say in response to the Pope's speech? Did you listen to him?
Yeah, I listened. It was in, of course, the language of the oppressor. I'm not good at that language, but I think he was more just generic in his presentation.
Uh-huh.
The president was generic, more like, okay, we know, yeah, there are issues that need to be resolved, and he was not specific on anything. Of course, he's a politician, he's a diplomat in his own right.
Was
But the Holy
he
Father
was he was he reading or just impromptu?
Of course, he was reading. He was reading from a teleprompter. It was well. It was,
Well
it
articulated.
was
Okay.
something that was prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not an extempo. I mean, the president at this point cannot just, answer questions ad lib and answer questions, because he's not capable of doing that. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm
And
impressed that he
I'm
was
sure.
able to, join the crowd, and then, welcome the Holy Father. Then they went back to Unity Palace. And we are documenting. I'm actually from the United States, but I'm documenting this from my own personal archive, because I'm a Catholic theologian.
You are from the
And I'm
United
observing.
States?
Yes, Comrade Chris. Yeah.
When are you coming back?
Yeah. I will be back. I cannot disclose it, but I'll be back as soon as I'm done with this visit. The George, who is right there on the screen, I know him very well, and we work together behind the scene to support the image of the church and also bring change within our church as well.
Please make sure you give me a call when you get back here. The moment you set foot here, please give me a call, because like to get your free intake, because I know you are not free at this moment. So when you get back, you give me your free
Yeah.
intake.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, somebody said something there. I have interacted with all the bishops, especially from English-speaking Cameroon, and they are united with the suffering of the people.
Yeah.
But most of them, their hands are tied. I have a bishop who calls himself an Ambazonia, but he cannot do that in public. Their hands are tied. They know how brutal the regime is.
Yeah.
And the very fact that the Holy Father accepted this invitation and is in that geographical region called Cameroon and is planning to visit Ambaland is a glimpse of hope that we cannot let this pass by. This is an hour of a visitation that I'm very convinced that we will actually reap the fruits of this. It may not come overnight, but changes in a positive way will come in this country.
Are you going to Bamenda at all for the next lap of the visit?
We are set for Bamenda this night, and I will be there tomorrow. Yes, I'll be there.
I will call you during this program tomorrow, please, to get an update from you of what you witnessed there, please.
Yes, Comrade Chris. I mean, like I said, this is a very important program. I do appreciate what you do. I appreciate what the panelists are also saying. Again, like we often say, we don't have any other country. We have one country. We have Cameroon. We have Ambazonia.
Right.
We have to coexist. If we choose to go, Amazonia choose to go their own way, we should do it amicably. It's time for peace.
Everything that Ambazonia is doing, they were forced to do it. You understand that? They were forced to do it. For her, I mean, you get married. Why does divorce happen between a man and a woman, husband and wife? When one party becomes so intransigent to change. That's what happens
You
here.
have to understand. True, because the regime is insensitive to change.
Right.
You and I know that. It's a very stubborn regime, insensitive to change, and a regime that doesn't really care about it. Remember what the Holy Father said today. He addressed the young people of Cameroon. And that was very peculiar, because the country, Cameroon itself, has often ignored the youth.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you. I know you are not a witch doctor. I mean, the spirit to be in the minds of those regime cronies in Yaoundé. But what do you think is going on in the minds of people like Ngongo? They are Tanganyans. I mean, the people at the nucleus of power who are thinking of succession and planning succession. What do you think is going on in their minds now?
Comrade Chris, what we know is that they are using a political calculus. These politicians are extremely skilled at what they are doing. If not of the fact that people like you and other freelance journalists and other people were able to point out, I believe by now they would have appointed the vice president already. Because my sources are revealing to me that they are using this moment to actually bring out some political changes that will not be rebelled. That means the people will not be able to revolt overnight because there's this euphoria of something spectacular happening in the country. So they are doing their best to stay in power, and I believe that they are working overtime to use the right moment to actually promote their hegemony that they have in mind.
Do you see Issa Chiroma by any means having a role in that change, in that transition that they are anticipating?
Comrade Chris, I think my back channel sources reveal that there are some interesting conversation going behind the scene with Issa Chiroma, between the government and Issa Chiroma. But what they've told me is that Issa Chiroma is very convinced that he doesn't trust the regime one bit.
Because he was there.
He was there. So because of that lack of trust, whatever invitation they are extending to him is like what Barrister Charles Taco would say, it's like inviting snakes for dinner. If you're inviting snakes for dinner, what do you expect? They're gonna deal with you squarely.
Yeah.
So there is already mistrust, which I believe that someone like Archbishop Kia, as skilled as he is, if the church in Cameroon can play their role, like what Pope Francis did by calling out the evil of certain countries, including America, if the church in Cameroon can stand their ground, we are not political, but we must speak truth to power. We must advocate peace. We must promote justice. Then they can be in a good position to actually, work with the back channels to make sure that Chiroma can come back to the country, even if not as president-elect or president, but as someone to show that there is true democracy in Cameroon. It is okay for the young people to actually oppose the system and then not be afraid that they'll be taken to Kundenge the next day. So, I think the church leaders must rise up. Because I know for a fact, I can tell you this without mincing word, and George on your panel can confirm, the government gives these people a lot of money.
Yeah,
not to develop their people, but he gives them money to actually influence their opinion. So once they collect this money, I mean, these are church secret. When bishops go to Yaoundé, they live with brown bags, huge sums of monies. And now once they've received it, they are not telling you that we are bribing you. But once you get that, you get your diocese, maybe it's 30 million, it's 50 million, and you start trying to oppose the system. The next day, someone may be visiting you to give you a warning from the government. So, That is how they have been, some of them have been compromised. But again, they still have a moral authority. I think the Pope will rekindle hope in the people, especially the shepherds, not just Catholics, even evangelical, top leaders, religious leaders, to rise up, the imams, all those people, because I believe even the imams in Cameroon, they've all been compromised. How many imams have been able to come out from the north,
right,
and say, we need our son back? We need Issa Chiruma back. The government should guarantee that they will not put him in jail, and Chiruma should guarantee that he is not coming to stir up a revolt. So I think,
when they make the imam of the Grand Nord, the president of the Senate. I mean, they are essentially trying to counterbalance whatever that whatever influence Issa Chiroma may have left in the North. They want the Northeast to believe your son is the president of the Senate. You have power, you have control, you are part of the system. Why are you worried about Issa Chiroma?
That is divide and conquer. That's what the citizens are good at, and that is what Mr. Biya has, instituted. But the good news is that nothing like
all right.
The party last forever, and there is no touch that is a perpetual reign. So let's be hopeful.
All right.
Cameroonians and Bazonians, this is time to be hopeful. Let's not relent. I'm rid of this and crew.
All right, comrade, I think I'm losing your network also. But listen, I will speak with you tomorrow up in Bamenda. You have a safe trip up there, sir.
Okay, comrade Chris. Okay.
All right, thank you. All right. All right, comrades, you have the last word. Let me start from Patrick. You listen to the caller whom I guess you know, and because he referenced you a lot, he is saying essentially that there's a lot that the bishops are doing. They just cannot come out publicly like you and I to say certain things. I give you the last chance, sir.
I think he did reference Mr. George, not me, but I can give my last words here. So, one thing that while we were talking, I was able to reflect.
Patrick, please hold on a second. Let's get to this caller and then I get back to you. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Chris and your partner. Good evening to you guys.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Washington.
Okay, and what is on your mind?
On my mind, I'm just trying to appreciate you because a lot of people don't know. You are one of those people. You are going to free Ambazonia and free La Republic because you are putting a lot of energy in this thing, and some people sit by the background of making noise. They don't know that you are going to free the two countries because they are not free and we are not yet free. So you are trying to free the two countries, and I really appreciate you telling you that you see what the man did with the Pope visit. We just pray that the Pope will put an end to most of these things that we have passed through for 10 years. And then secondly, you see this guy, people say, oh, he's a nice president, like Mr. Itwe was saying yesterday. He has to say it. The father has eaten from the whole thing. But the people in Bombay, they don't have water to drink.
Yeah.
Mr. Itwe lives in Bombay. He has a big house by the road in Bombay. Go and ask the Bombay people, they don't have water to drink. They have killed most of his people. And he accompanied Mr. Biya to kill his own people. And his son was saying yesterday, I was just laughing because you don't want to say something, Mr. Biya is this. I said, yes. But Mr. Chris, you have done your best, you are doing your best. You are one of those people that you have lost a lot of people in this struggle. But you are still standing strong. So I appreciate you. You are going to free Cameroon and free Ambazonia.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you for the call. All we ask here, as you say, please, what we do here, it takes a lot of courage, a lot of courage and fortitude to do it. My appeal to everyone who appreciates what we do here is to please support ABS to stay on the satellite. Support ABS to stay on satellite. For as long as ABS is here, La Republique is in. This television is as powerful, important as what do they call it? A launcher. This thing is as powerful as a launcher. And some people look at me and the social media and they say, "Oh, Chris with his large mouth." And I say, "You know why? God gave me the large mouth because He knew what He was going to use this mouth for. I am so proud of it." All right, gentlemen, I hand it over to Mr. Kennedy. Go ahead. Oh, Patrick was speaking. Patrick, okay, Kennedy, go ahead. Briefly, then Patrick.
Okay. Yes, I mean, thank you so much, Secretary Chris. A lot has been said. And I mean, for your last two callers, they've highlighted something that's very important, something that we should be looking at. They have taken the Pope's visit is taking away from the clergy any justification from the normative way of life that has been. If the leader of the church has come and has raised the issues that he has raised, then there is no reason why the other shepherds cannot pick that up. Can we just imagine these people playing the Pope's speech in all the cathedrals, all the chapels, and letting the Cameroonians know that this is what the church is saying? This is something very, very interesting. Now, I'm so happy with this Papa's visit for many reasons, but one of them is that he has recentered the debate on the issues that matter. Because in Cameroon, do you know what mattered most with Cameroonians? When Paul Biya shows up, it's like a point of victory, even that Paul Biya is showing up. When Paul Biya walks, it's a victory even for Cameroonians that Paul Biya is walking. Because all of them is, oh, you see him? He's walking. When Paul Biya reads his speech, it's a victory for Cameroonians. That, oh, can you see? He is reading. He's able to read. He read for 10 minutes. He read for 15 minutes. You see? So that has been the expectations of Cameroonians because they have a totalitarian regime with its dictator that has been there for 43 years, who's just only the fact of him breathing, it's like it's enough. No, but that's a new Cameroon that is possible if we all grasp that. A Cameroon in which we have to talk about justice, just as the Pope spoke about justice. A Cameroon in which, as the Pope says, peace is not about a slogan. Let's stop the sloganing that is going on. Let's go to the reality of serving the people, of administering the people in a way that caters for their needs. That's just what the Pope has said. So if you're a Catholic priest watching at me now, and that has condoned the government or that have always create excuses for not speaking truth to authority, now you have no other reason. And I'm happy. I think it's Patrick that spoke about even Pentecostals. Yes, even the Pentecostals should stand up. I'm a pastor and I stand up for the truth. There is nothing that bars pastors from speaking as we are speaking, as some of us are speaking. If you are an imam, yes, stand up and speak truth to authority, because more than anyone else, the spiritual leaders in Cameroon have access to Cameroonians. And if they can consistently take the message of social justice to those Cameroonians, not only on Sundays when they come to the church, or Fridays when they go to the mosque, but every day, Monday through Sunday, speak as the Pope has spoken today, then there's a new Cameroon that is possible.
All right. Patrick, please.
Yes, Secretary Chris, again, thank you so much. It's been a really great show, and the panelists have really spoken their minds and they've educated Southern Cameroonians and Cameroonians at large on issues that can be done through the clergy. And when we talk about the clergy, we also saw what Archbishop Desmond Tutu did in South Africa when apartheid was ravaging that country. He was like a one-man soldier who spoke truth to authority, and today South Africans are living free. One thing that had just resonated with me while we're talking is about the fact that all the other popes who have been to Cameroon, they celebrated Mass in May. They gave a communion to their dictator sitting there, Paul Biya, and all the ministers. But on the Pope's itinerary, I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't seem like he's going to celebrate any Mass in Yaoundé this time. And that is why he spoke about corruption, peace, and justice. If he sees that these people need help, and he is talking to them. He wants them to change because if he doesn't give them the communion like he's done for the other popes have done, then there is a message in that particular journey that he's taking in Cameroon. But today, Southern Cameroonians should be rest assured that the Father of Christianity is there to create magic for them. They should also have it in their mind that if the Pope is doing it for Southern Cameroonians or even Cameroonians as a whole, what are we doing? What is our goal? How do we want to take it from here and make sure if that opportunity arises, how are we going to demonstrate that we are mature, like we have demonstrated by calling off any kind of uh, hostile activities while the Pope is visiting. I'm really glad all the Amazonians were able to come together and say, we are calling off any kind of hostility in that territory just to give the Holy Father the respect he deserves as a man of peace who is out there to create the magic that we're going to see in Cameroon in the days ahead.
Okay, let me bring in George to round up.
Yes, Mr. Chris.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I just want to conclude by saying that I'm so excited today. I'm so proud of Pope Leo. And I just want to reiterate what he mentioned at the beginning of his speech. He said that he was visiting Cameroon as a sign of affection for all Cameroonians, and that he came to build a common good. And because there's a search, and there is such a hunger and a thirst for justice. You know, that was so powerful. What we have been writing, Mr. Chris, you said I'm a critic, but I've been criticizing this injustice for a long time now. Our bishops have not spoken enough. They spoke in 2016 during a memorandum to Mr. Paul Biya, clearly stating the Anglophone problem. But then Paul Biya ignored them and they just stopped. They should have kept writing and insisting, you know. So I really blame the bishops too. Yes, our bishops have not spoken enough, as our comrade just said, Desmond Tutu. He quoted Archbishop Desmond Tutu. In fact, we have examples all over. We have Archbishop Romeo of El Salvador. So the bishops have the duty to speak the truth to power. And Pope Leo has clearly taught them today. I believe it is history, and it's going to make our bishops to regain their moral authority. They have to regain their moral authority. Yes, we can't be in a country with bishops, and it's all 10 years now, and our people are dying, suffering, and you tell me somebody is at the background doing things diplomatically for 10 years. Now there's something wrong.
Well, what do you expect him to do? Pick a gun?
No, not pick a gun, Mr. Chris. I just want to tell you what Archbishop Vetekov used to do. He returned all the envelopes that Yaoundé used to send to him. I'm talking from concrete evidences. Monsignor Patrick Lafont, who was Secretary General of the Peace Over Conference, used to come to Bamenda with envelopes from the government. He sent them back. That was why he was very, very independent when it came to saying the truth. And as our comrade from Cameroon called and said, these guys have been corrupted. Our bishops have taken money. Go to Biya, see the cathedral. Go to Bamenda. Where do you think that money came from? Do you think it's just from the Christians?
Of course, it came
They
from the state.
Exactly. Why do they collect that money from the state? Because it prevents them from being independent.
No, let's say something. Let's this be clear. That
Yes.
money, the money that you all call money from the state, it's not those people's
Yes.
money. The money that you call money for the state is our treasury. So
It's
if
our
they go to-
treasury,
let me
yes.
just- let me clear this. If I am a priest in Cameroon, I go to Yaoundé, they give me that money, I'll take that money. And then I'll go build that cathedral that you've seen. I'll go feed the hungry and everything.
No.
Now,
I disagree.
This is my contention. This is my contention. If they told me, and that's what I want to see, if they told me that the bishop took money and then they are doing some personal things, and and they are doing private things, if they're taking the money and putting it back in the church, and two, beside taking money, if they can show me one point where Archbishop Biya has said that the regime of Paul Biya is good, the regime of Paul Biya is doing the good work, you go, it's all in windows. You cannot even prove that he has taken money, but I can prove to you, tape after tape, edict after edict, how Archbishop Biya is criticizing the regime the way that I'll criticize him. Do you have one letter, one public statement of Bishop Biya that he's endorsing what the regime is doing in the southwest and northwest? Just one.
All right, listen, gentlemen. I think
No,
we should
Mr.
have
Chris, our
this.
problem is that our Archbishop has been advocating for peace. We've heard this word peace so much, and he
what I
has this
don't
prayer,
understand.
and he has this prayer thing. Let's pray over our problems. No,
Yeah,
there
that's
must be
what a
justice.
bishop is supposed to do. Prayer is his
No,
number one thing.
No. I disagree with you. A bishop must advocate for justice.
Man of God, not just the bishop is supposed to do. Every man of God is supposed to
That's
say,
to pray.
let's pray.
Justice,
And while
not
in
just
the
peace.
background, he or she is doing diplomacy.
No, Mr.
Prayer
Chris.
is never
Men of God
endorsed.
should not be diplomats. They should be.
No,
They should say things the way they are.
They can.
No, Secretary Chris,
To be
Secretary Chris,
diplomatic
please.
doesn't mean you move from embassy to embassy. It means you meet the powers that matter and speak truth to them.
Look at what happened in Bamenda. Do you think the nuncio was diplomatic by calling the name of Paul Biya in a church where people have suffered for 10 years? What is that diplomacy?
But
No,
if,
I'm
he
not the
doesn't,
Catholic.
but if he doesn't say it, who should say it? He is
Okay,
the
he
all
said
and
it,
all.
and what happened? He said it, and what happened? Was it not
Nothing
a
happened, but what do you
negative
expect
reaction?
to happen? If in
No,
case says it,
people.
if Bishop Nkeye says it, any other minister or pastor or reverend father says it, they will kill them and tag it to an accident. You know that.
Well,
They cannot
well,
kill
he-
the Pope, so the Pope can say anything.
No, even Archbishop Biya can say it. They are all pastors of souls. That's why they are bishops. Why did they put on the red skull cap and all that? It's because they are ready to die. Yes, that's what a bishop is.
All right.
Wait, my
But
dear
these
brother,
guys don't want to die.
let me ask my dear brother a question. See,
They don't want to die.
now this is you. We have all said what we've said. Can you imagine that someone turns around tomorrow and say that you have said all what you said here and nothing has happened in Cameroon? Is that, I mean, that's not fair. You have, where you are, you have written, as I haven't read much of your books, but you have written a lot, as Secretary Chris has said. I trust him. You have done all of that. Can you imagine that an American comes tomorrow and say Cameroonians are stupid? They don't know anything because they all just speak and they quote Gabriel. He has written all sorts of books. He has done everything, but nothing is happening in Cameroon. It's the same thing. You cannot expect Archbishop Biya to do what he's not supposed to do. What he's supposed to do is to speak out, is to preach, is to do that. And when I read what he says, just as I can appreciate what you're saying, it makes sense. We have to support that. We cannot just say he's not doing anything. And then the second thing that we are doing, which is not good, is that we are discouraging other people. Because if what Archbishop Biya has done so far is not enough, now we are telling all the other people that there's nothing you can do. Now let all of them step up as Archbishop Kea and speak in all the chapels, all the cathedrals. If they could all speak, it will make a difference.
No, you are very correct, and I don't know why you focus on the Bishop in care, George, because
Because
he
he's
is
the
not
president of the Episcopal Conference.
he is not. Yeah, he is just heading the Catholic Church. How about the
Exactly.
Presbyterian? How about the Baptist? How about the other evangelical pastors? Come on, he doesn't carry the whole of the church in Cameroon. I think he has done his best. Let's wait and see what happens, please. Gentlemen, let's end it here. We'll continue this tomorrow. I pray you all can still make it tomorrow after the visit to Bamenda. Thank you very much for being part of the show.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying put out there. We look forward to continuing this conversation tomorrow after the Pope visit to Bamenda. But in the meantime, please, I appeal to you, if you really appreciate what we are doing here at ABS, it takes a lot of funds to keep this going, especially on satellite television, where people on the ground can watch us. Please, I'm appealing to you. You may not want to be recognized, to be identified, or to be announced. You may just want to make a simple donation, $50, $100, $1,000, to keep ABS on the air. My appeal to you today is, please do not hesitate to do so. When a month is coming to an end, I am seated here thinking how the bills will be paid, because nobody is paying for the bills. Nobody thinks about how the bills are going to be paid except yours truly. But with you, we can do it this month. Again, if you appreciate ABS, what we are doing out here, chip in a generous donation today with the number you find on your screen. That number is good for Cash App and it is good for Zelle. Thank you for tuning in. I will be back here tomorrow, quite early tomorrow. Again, we're going to be broadcasting the Pope's visit to Bamenda live from around 11 a.m. here in the U.S. 11 a.m. Eastern Time. That will mean 12 noon here in Texas. So, I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. You have a great night.
ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows.
Before I go, ladies and gentlemen, I realize that many people, quite a handful of people, did not listen to my monologue, especially on YouTube, because YouTube disrupted the broadcast at a point in time, right after that monologue. We will re-upload it to YouTube so that you can come back and listen to it. Thank you. Good night.
You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact our advertising team at absafricatv@gmail.com. ABS can help you reach your target audience like never before. Advertising on ABS, you'll benefit from our extensive reach and dedicated viewership. We offer special advertising packages during primetime slots and popular shows. You'll also be featured on our social media platforms, reaching an even wider audience. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Take your business to the next level. Contact
the dance lord. Southwest. Away! Madam Grace Ewang, the founder.
Eyaswo for peace, Eyaswo for unity, Eyaswo for togetherness, Eyaswo don't come home. Yo. Eyaswo.
Sensible Chief Dr. O. Julius, the lion of mine.
Eyaswo. Eyaswo don't come home.
Sensible Harris, Bahanem, Chief Bahanem. President IBC Yaoundé, the Center Philanthropist of Manu, Dr. Hamilton Ayo, also Manu
let's live together.
Mr. Jonas, President of Philippines.
Let's live together.
Tatambi Ebini, Mourinho, Ochorozo One, Ayamba Valentine, Ekundame. Lord Igodo, CEO of Deep Sea Transport Service. Mama Solan, CEO Magnetic African Snack Bar. Etamani Manga, Evu Jump, Big Nine President the Businessmen Association. Alec Paco, Kenza de Carrière. Chief Oro Chombi, the hero of mine.
Eyaswo for unity, Eyaswo for togetherness, Eyaswo don't come home.
Mega Bookman Barrister Eyong, the Prince of Bangapungu, Commandant of Customs, Takem Tabi. Skaloji Bobo, the Lion of Cape Town, the traditional Prime Minister of Cape Town, Thomas Chuke.
I be Mafe speaking where I like culture. I be Southwest speaking where I like culture. I be Cameroonian where I like culture. Eyaswo. I be Mafe speaking where I like culture. I be Southwest speaking where I like culture. I be Cameroonian where I like culture. Eyaswo.
Let them let you for Samson. The Baptist.